गिरिवरधारी जय गिरिवरधारी जय गोपीजन वल्लभ जय गिरिवरधारी जय गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन जय व्रजजनरंजन यशोदानंदन व्रजजनरंजन यमुनातीरावनचारि जय कुंदविहारी यमुनातीरावनचारि जय कुंदविहारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंदविहारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंदविहारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे राम हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे राम राम हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे राम 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 हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे राम हरे राम 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 हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे राम हरे राम 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 हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे राम हरे राम राम हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे राम हरे राम हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे राम 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 हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे राम Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Jai Jagannath, Jai Baladev, Jai Subhadra Mani Sudarshan, Jai Jagannath, Jai Baladev, Jai Subhadra Mani Sudarshan, Jai Jagannath, Jai Baladev, Jai Subhadra Mani Sudarshan, Jagannath Swami Ganapatana, Nayana Patagami Bhavatana, Jagannath Swami Ganapatana, Nayana Patagami Bhavatana, Jagannath Swami Ganapatana, Nayana Patagami Bhavatana, Jaya Radha Radha Madhava, Jaya Radha Madhava, 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 Sri Ram, Radha Gopinath, Radha Gopinath, Radha Gopinath, Sri Ram. Radha Shama Sundar, Radha Shama Sundar, Radha Shama Sundar, Radha Radha Shama Sundar, Shama Sundar, Radha Shama Sundar, Gauranita, 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 Jaya Gauranita, Gauranita, Gauranita. Gauranita, Jaya Gauranita, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. फिर प्रभुपाद की जय. ऐसे. जय. Hare Krishna. So, am I audible, Prabhuji? Audible, no? Okay. So, today we'll be discussing Srimad Bhagavatam Shloka number 6 from 16th chapter of 4th canto. So we are still in Dhruva Maharaj story, and it's a big pastimes of the Lord, and of course devotee Dhruva Maharaj. So we are continuing that discussion today also. Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tado Jayamudire Nashtavrasho Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Naistiki Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitamena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitamena Bhutale Swayam Rupadamyam Narati Subramaniam Vandeham Sri Gurum Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurum Vishnu Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Tam Tam Sri Sadvaitam Sarvadhutam Parijan Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Valita Sim Shakavitam Shalom He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Kesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishvanu Suti Devi Pranamami Gani Priya Vanchakalpataru Bheshta Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Titanam Pavanebhya Vaishnavibhya जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्री गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्ण. I'll read the shloka now. Sixth shloka. भजस्व भजयांग्रही मयभा मभवाय भवज्जितम् युक्तं विरहितं शक्त्या गुणमयया आत्ममायया. Word to word translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Bhajasva, engage in devotional service. Bhajaniya, worthy to be worshipped. Angrim, unto him whose lotus feet. Abhav, abhavaya, the deliverance from material existence. Abhavaya. Bhavachidam, who cuts the knot of material entanglement. Yuktam, attached. Virhitam, aloof. Shaktya, to his potency. Gunamaya, consisting of the modes of material nature. Atmamayaya, Maya is inconceivable potency. Translation. Engage yourself fully, therefore, in devotional service of the Lord, for only He can deliver us from this entanglement of materialistic existence. Although the Lord is attached to His material potency, He is aloof from our activities. Everything in this material world is happening by inconceivable potency of the Supreme Personality of Lord. In continuation of previous verse, it is specifically mentioned here that Dhruva Maharaj should engage himself in devotional service. Devotional service cannot be rendered to the impersonal Brahma feature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Whenever the word Bhajaswa appears, meaning engage yourself in devotional service, there must be servant, service, and served. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is served. The mode of activities to please Him called service. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is served. The mode of activities to please Him is called service, and one who renders such a service is called the servant. Another significant feature in this verse is that only the Lord and no one else is to be served. That is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. Mamekam Sharanam Praja. There is no need to serve the demigods who are just like hands and legs of the Supreme Lord. When the Supreme Lord is served, the hands and legs of the Supreme Lord are automatically served. There is no need of separate service. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, Tesham Aham Samudhatva Mrityum Samsara Sagara. This means that the Lord, in order to show specific favor to the devotee, directs the devotee from within in such a way that ultimately he is delivered from the entanglement of material existence. No one but the Supreme Lord can help the living entity be delivered from entanglement of material world. The material energy is manifestation of one of the Supreme Personality of Godhead's varieties of potencies. Paraksha Shaktir Vividhaiva Sriyate. This material energy is one of the Lord's potencies as much as heat and light are potencies of the fire. The material energy is not different from Supreme Godhead, but at the same time, he has nothing to do with the material energy. The living entity who is of the marginal energy is entrapped by the material energy on the basis of his desire to lord it over material world. The Lord is aloof from this, but when the same living entity engages himself in devotional service of the Lord, then he becomes attached to this service. This situation is called yuktam. Devotee For devotee, the Lord is present even in material energy. This is inconceivable potency of the Lord. Material energy acts in three modes of material qualities, which produce an action and reaction of material existence. Those who are not devotees become involved in such activities, whereas devotees who are doubted with the Supreme Personality of Godhead are freed from such action and reactions of material energy. The Lord is therefore described here as a Bhavachiddam, one who can give deliverance from the entanglement of material existence. Hare Krishna. So, भजस्व भजन इंग्रांगी मोभावय भवच्छिदम युक्तम विरहितम शक्त्या गुणमय्या आत्मायया. Engage yourself fully, therefore, in devotional service of the Lord, for only He can deliver us from this entanglement of material existence. Although the Lord is attached to this material potency, He is aloof from her activities. Everything in this material world is happening by the inconceivable potency of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Hare Krishna. So thanks devotees for joining this session, and we'll continue discussion now on this shloka. Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimade Jai Pataka Swami Niti Namne Namo Acharya Vadhanitaya Krupa Pradayine Gaure Pataramaya Nagragramataya Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimade Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namne Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaurvani Pracharine Shishindavadi Pashatya Dishatharine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Asari Gaur Bhakti Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram. Okay, so we are discussing the Dhruva Maharaj story. As just to give the background, of course we know, but in case we are not able to recall. So Dhruva Maharaj was a grandson of Swayambhu Manu, son of Uttanpada, and he was sort of sent to forest by his stepmother because she denied his rightful throne. So his mother, real mother, that is Suniti, she told, okay, you go to forest because Dhruva Maharaj wanted to claim his kingdom back and to bring it, claim his position back and sort of retaliate for his insult. So he was very much insulted. He felt like that. And Narad Muni also advised him to, do the devotional service and do the tapasya going to forest so that he gets the required benefit, the required benediction, whatever he need. So he has had that material desire. Dhruva Maharaj had that desire. It was sort of material desire initially because he wanted to gain his kingdom back. But Narad Muni directed him in such a way that he just doesn't stick to those austerities just for sake of some material desire, but he directed him to actually progress to spiritual life, to devotional service, which is the actual benefit for human. Because whatever you are supposed to get by your destiny, anyway you will get. And if we are not destined to get something, we will not get. So what is the use of putting so much effort in achieving something which you anyway are not going to get, achieving some, or anyway we are going to get, then why to get into too much into this and get entangled into all this. So Narad Muni have very swiftly drove him because he was a boy that time, 5 years boy. So he needed that guidance. So Narad Muni gave that, his mother Suniti also gave that guidance. And he went to forest. He did very severe austerities, and Lord Krishna was satisfied with it, and he offered him benediction, whatever you want, you will get your kingdom back, and you will get not only that, but nobody will be able to remove from the kingdom eternally. That's why there is a Dhruva planet, which doesn't get destroyed, even though there is a destruction or dissolution of the material world. Because destruction of the material world happens periodically as the life of Brahma progresses. Throughout Brahma's life it happens, and Brahma's end of life also it happens. But Dhruva planet doesn't get destroyed because that's a benediction given by Lord Krishna. It's a Dhruva planet is between the spiritual planet and the material planet. That's a big center of in between of that. So that's how it is. So then Dhruva Maharaj grew up. He went back to the forest from forest to because he was happy. Lord also was happy with him. But of course, Dhruva Maharaj sort of happy, but in one sense he was repenting also when Lord offered him everything whatever he wanted. Because Dhruva said, "Oh, I by looking at you," mean Dhruva was so much enchanted by looking at the beauty of Lord, looking at the personality of God, Lord Krishna. He said, "Oh, when Lord Krishna himself is there for me, in front of me, or he himself is a worship of, I mean, object of worship for anybody, for Dhruva also, why I should be asking for this sort of material benefits?" That is why Dhruva Maharaj was sort of repenting and he was very feeling guilty, which is right actually. Dhruva realized it. Oh, yes, this is a mistake I have. But Lord Krishna, Lord pacified him. Okay, it's there. Fine. You change your consciousness and slowly that's what Dhruva was purified, getting purified. Initially by austerity, secondly by darshan of Lord and Lord of benediction, and then he realized, oh, it is all about devotional service, not all about material achievement and the loss and success. So nevertheless, he continued and he went back to his kingdom. Uttanpada was also there, his father and his step brother sort of, he was also there and they were living happily. He forgave all of them. He did not carry that enmity towards them because he was getting purified. Dhruva Maharaj was getting purified. He was purified. There were 100 reasons for him to sort of retaliate it and again, sort of harm them because they harmed him. But he did not do it. In fact, he took care of them. So that's a thing. Then it continued, and then in one fine day, his brother, step brother, Dhruva's brother got killed with fighting with Yaksha. There was some conflict there, and he got killed. So Yakshas are basically, as I told, Yakshas are sort of demigods, or it's not exactly demigods, it's just, but it's a higher living entities, higher planets, and they are like spirits. They are like spirits, and they are the spirits which are present in the nature. Like there'll be Yaksha present on the river, Yaksha present on the hill. So that's how. So they are like but they are powerful entities and they are generally good, but sometimes they can be harmful. That's what is explaining somewhere when I checked it. So they are like a powerful spirit, ghost, not exactly ghost, but ghostly. But then they are having the superpowers and they are auspicious also in many. So anyway, so there are extra planets and then Himalayas also there was Ekshas and then there was some fight between this Dhruva Maharaj brother and he got killed. And then Dhruva Maharaj again became very angry. And he went back and started killing Yakshas left and right because he was very angry and he was very powerful also. Yakshas also were powerful. So there were a lot of fighting between them. And the king of the Yakshas is basically Kuber. Kuber, Kuber is in charge of the material treasures, gold and all those money and all these diamonds and all these. The treasurer is in charge of his heavenly planet. So I mean, sort of he reports into Indra like that. Okay, so he is in charge of all these treasure. So, but it is said that Indra is the king of action. Okay. So then there was a lot of fight between, and then Dhruva Maharaj was fiercely killing those Yakshas. He was not stopping only. By seeing this violence, Swayambhu Manu himself thought of intervening it because it is violence and there is no need of so much violence. Again, he saw that Dhruva Maharaj is getting carried away by the anger. And it's not befitting for his position as a devotee, especially devotee. So he wanted to correct him. So Swayambhu Manu, who is the grandfather of Dhruva Maharaj, he intervened, he came and he told, you don't fight like this. I mean, because you are not fighting for any real cause. Why? Because, okay, there may be some misunderstanding. So there can be some fighting also. Being a Kshatriya, Dhruva was Kshatriya, king. So he was having that fighting spirit and he will not tolerate the insult. He will not tolerate the injustice. So that's the real nature of Kshatriya, which is correct. So he was doing as per his, but then there is a limit for everything. I mean, because he started killing them indiscriminately. And Prabhupada brings that point here. If you recall, we were discussing the battle or the fighting or the war can be there for the want of establishing the dharmic principle, religious principle. If there are some disturbance in religious principle and if people are not following or disturbing the religious people or principle, there can be violence too with such people so that they get eliminated or they get punished because to establish the control of religion over the human civilization. The religion has to control the human civilization because religion is given by the Lord himself. Dharmatu sakshat bhagavad pranitam. So religion is given by Lord and that is a way to control or to have impact or to controlling, directionally controlling, not in a bad sense controlling, in a good sense controlling, so that human civilization survives, sustains, and slowly go back to Godhead. Because Lord want that. Without religious principle, there is no question of doing any yoga or taking up any devotion service. Religious principle is a basic necessity for the sustaining the human civilization. Without religion, it's only animal. Animal doesn't follow any religion, but of course they still follow their religion of their whatever their body. They still follow that bodily, rules and regulation. That's also religion for them. But in a real, in a very philosophical way, at an intellectual way, they don't understand all this. Animals, so they are animals. So they follow nature's law. They don't follow specific religion, and there is no restrictions. And I mean, that's a very different world. But human being has to follow the set of rules and regulation in the human life. Otherwise, we'll become animal. So to save ourselves from this very ruthless transmigration of soul from body to body, it's very ruthless. Nature is very ruthless in this matter. It will punish you if you don't follow the religious principle. If you don't change your consciousness from human being, animal to human, or even beyond human also to higher consciousness, it will be pushed into this sort of transmigration, and it will be eternally revolving into different bodies, trying to taste some life there, some sense enjoyment there, without any real satisfaction of the soul. It's a suffering. So to save human beings from all this downfall, religion is given. So Dhruva Maharaj was angry. He was following Kshatriya religion, but it was getting exceeded. Limit was getting exceeded. He was killing innocent people also. So Swayambhu Manu intervened and said, no, you can't do this. And he advised him to control because it will give him the reactions. And there is no need. And Dhruva Maharaj was established as a very exalted soul, devotee, becoming devotee. So that's not befitting to his position and his whatever he has benedicted by Lord. So it would have been contradictory it would have been wrong example for human society. So definitely, so to save Dhruva Maharaj or to control Dhruva Maharaj, Swayambhu Manu intervened and he told, no, you don't know. And then he gave some philosophical, inputs also. Okay, ultimately, you should not take insult or these things are too much seriously also. Because it's a material world and it's a struggle for existence. But laws of karma and all that philosophy, yeah, I mean, a lot of advice he gave. And of course, then Dhruva Maharaj got pacified because he was devotee ultimately by heart. Devotees, because one may get carried, even though devotee, sometimes one may get carried away by the impulses of our senses or mind, and we may do something wrong. But there has to be somebody to correct us at the right time. So Shastras will correct us, Guru will correct us, our whole community, devotee community, whoever is, they will correct us at the right time. That's why it's important to always remain under the shelter of the gurus or your elderly sort of advisors on the spiritual matter. That's right. People, because they will keep, well, otherwise we may get carried. Maya is so strong, we may get carried away by the impulse of all this anger, lust, kama, krodh, lobh, mad, all this. Because we are still in material world and complete purification takes time, and we are not still fully attached to Lord devotional service, so we may do some. So that's why to this is the example. Dhruva Maharaj was corrected at right time by Swayambhu. No, because he himself was his grandfather. So he got corrected, Dhruva Maharaj, and immediately he got pacified because ultimately by heart he was Dhruva. Not that everybody will get pacified, because we have seen in the Puranas and in history, see the modern history also in the Puranas also. Not that everybody gets corrected, because earlier you have got a devotee heart. Yeah, it's very difficult to come out of this influence of Maya. Because that ego is still there. Devotee only can control the ego, or I mean rather engage our real ego into real thing. Properly engage our ego is there for ego means it's our nature. So false ego, true ego. So real ego means we are soul, we are servant of God, servant of Lord. That is our real ego. That is fine. But false ego means other than that, anything is false ego. Thinking myself, me, as the center of everything is for me. Thinking like that means it's a false ego. So devotees get corrected easily because devotee understand all this. But there are examples in history or in Purana, like Ravana. They don't get corrected easily, demons, because they are against the Lord. They are huge false ego, lust. False ego will lead to major lust. Lust means, in spite of, because Ravana was advised by all his brothers. Kumbhakarna advised him, don't get into all this. Vibhishana advised, don't get into all this. Similarly, everybody, many demons, you see, they were advised by their well-wishers or families or friends who don't get into all this so much extremely sinful thing. But he never got corrected and he got killed. But of course, Dhruva Maharaj was a devotee, so he got corrected and he stopped killing the things. And then he said, okay, I'm also repenting. So this is a story till now. And in this shloka, the person talking is basically the Kubera. So Kubera is the king of Yakshas, and he also joined. Oh, Dhruva Maharaj stopped killing, so he also become sort of relieved, and he came and he was thanking Dhruva Maharaj. And he was advising Dhruva Maharaj also some more things, because they are all saintly personalities or they are all demigods. So they are pious and they are having all these, and they are devotees of Lord, demigods also. So he is advising in these last 4 or 5 slokas that the ultimately the essence of this is basically Lord owns everything. We should understand. He's telling this is a material world. In this material world, we are all driven by our laws of karma, actions and reactions. So Dhruva getting insulted or Dhruva killing, I mean Dhruva's brother getting killed by Yakshas, Dhruva should not have taken. Dhruva should not have taken. Just a minute. There is a message from Prabhuji. There's a sound, so I'll just increase my sound as whatever is possible for the. Okay. So Dhruva brother got killed. So Kubera is sort of giving him some, principles here, saying that it's a material world. There is actions and reactions. Material world will keep getting form and getting dissolved by the will of Lord. So everything is driven by Lord, and there is a action and reaction. So we should not have so much enmity towards anybody, because this material world is designed like that. So we should not create our actions and reactions, karma phalas, so much due to say anger. Suppose we get angry, means once you get angry, we'll do a lot of sins, and that will further create a lot of karmic actions, karmic reactions. So we should, if you understand, no, this is a material world, it is designed like this. There is bound to be some, conflict of interest, or there may be some, you know, always there will be some fighting. But beyond some limit, we should not get too much into, get caught into intricacies of it, or overthinking of that, this material world, because that is the way material world is designed. So because we are entangled into all that, we still continue our journey of one body to other body. So Kubera is telling ki, if you get too much entangled, attached to all this. So he was too much attached to his brother, although he did not receive a good treatment from them, but he was still attached to kingdom brother Dhruv Maharaj, and he was sort of trying to take a revenge. I mean, due to attachment only. So Kubera is telling there is no need of getting attached to material world so much. Apparently, it may be good or bad, but there is no use of too much getting attached to this and getting overwhelmed and then creating more actions, karmic actions, and getting entangled, and that will not serve the purpose. So what Kuvera is also explaining is, look, it is a material world, it is created by Lord, and the whole world belongs to Lord. Muktaram Yaggatapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram Sarvadam Sarvabhutanam Naptamam Sant, which means Lord is saying that I am the enjoyer of this material world. I am the creator of this material world. I am the benefactor of this material world, and the proprietor of this material world. The Lord is saying. Prabhupada explains here that in this shloka the words start. So Prabhupada explains that Lord, material energy is coming from the Lord. It's like light and heat cannot be separated from fire. That's how material energies and spiritual energies of Lord. We are like spiritual energy of Lord. We are marginal potency of Lord. And material energy is also his lower energy of Lord. That is all belongs to Lord. And Lord doesn't exist without his energies. And these energies are coming from Lord. They don't exist without Lord. So they are all inseparable. So it's all about Lord's energy. So we should see everything as a Lord's energy, Lord's plan. Everything is driven by Lord's will. So, but if we see material world as a isolated thing, isolated from the Lord's, then it becomes problem. Then we get into karmic action. Then we say, oh, it's my energy, or this is material energy. And we trying to counteract the forces of material nature by our own power or by our own thinking, will-o-wisp, and get tucked. But if you understand everything or see everything in the lens of Lord's property, Lord's energy, Lord as a proprietor, Lord as an enjoyer, then it becomes very easy to understand whatever happens around us. Because that's the reality. Because unless we don't come out of this bad material consciousness, we'll remain bonded. But there is a word called mukti, liberation. What is that? Mukti means actually coming out of concept of material life. Material life. That I am this body, this is a material world, I belong to this material world, it is for me. All these bodily concepts are bonding us to the material world. Lust bonds us in material world, because lust means I'm trying to get everything is for me. I'm the boss. So everything is for me, for my enjoyment. That's lust. So anger, if lust doesn't get satisfied, anger comes. And then too much sense enjoyment will give you greed. And then in all this, you will get illusioned by so many things like that. You will be jealous of others because you want more and more, others get, so I don't get, he gets. So So it's all very intricate cycle of, defects. So we should not get entangled by that. How it will happen? The moment we think, oh, it's the Lord's energies, whatever happens, Lord gives me is fine. Whatever doesn't, Lord doesn't give me is fine. And more importantly, if you understand everything in principle, what is the reality? Reality, Lord is the benefactor, Lord is the enjoyer, Lord is the proprietor, and I am just his servant. So servant has to utilize Lord's energy into Lord's service. That's the real position. Prabhupada brings this point here. We have to surrender to Lord. We have to bhajasva. Prabhupada explained bhajasva what? This sloka starts with bhajasva. Bhajasva means worship. Bhajan. Bhajan means worship means not that way worship where there are worship of demigods also. But no, bhajasva is not actually the worship. Actually, it is a bhajan. It's like a surrender. It's offering yourself to the. So that can happen. Prabhupada explained very categorically. The bhajana, bhajasva. This word cannot be used other than Lord, any other than Lord. It cannot be for demigod. So there is nothing like bhajan of demigod. Bhajan is only for Lord Krishna and his avtaras. So it's only for them. Because bhaja word is meant for only for Lord because he is supreme. And you as a soul have to surrender only to supreme. Prabhupada also explains in chapter. He is bringing that term. I mean, Am Tam Sarvam Mam Ekam Sharanam Bhaja. Mam Ekam. Lord says in Bhagavad Gita that you surrender to me only. Don't surrender to demigod. Means you can respect demigod. You can worship demigod in the sense ki as a respect, mark of respect, because they are devotees at the end of the day. They are powerful, pious entities. So we can worship them or we can sort of respect them or offer them. But ultimately, we should understand they are ultimately the souls. They are not super soul. They are not supreme. Supreme is only Lord Krishna. They are servants of Lord. They are agents of the Lord to carry out the material affairs, carry out this material affair of this universe. So they are a very elevated soul than us, obviously. So we should respect that way. But they should not be like bhajan to the. We should not surrender to them in that sense. We can respect them. So there is a surrender also comes when you respect somebody. But the way Lord expects the surrender only to Him, we should surrender only to Lord when we talk about surrendering our devotional service, our service to Him. So that is the proper expense in this, because in this sloka, it starts with bhajas. So Kubera is telling that you surrender to Lord. Means you understand that Lord is everything. Lord is the enjoyer also. Lord is the proprietor also. So once you know this, what we have to do then? We are there in material world. We have to do some actions. We have to do our duties. So that we can't stop. So let's do that. But the consciousness of doing those activities has to be changed. That is what exactly surrender to Lord. Currently, our consciousness in a very polluted form will be typically, this is meant for me. Material consciousness means me, my body, my is related. But when you think, no, it's for Lord, it's Lord's energy. And I should sacrifice. I should sacrifice for Lord. I should sacrifice my effort. I should sacrifice my earnings. I should sacrifice my so-called sense enjoyments. I should dedicate all my efforts and its fruits to Lord. That is surrender. Surrender means this. Surrender means whatever you do, it's meant for Lord. So you change that consciousness. Surrender means first change the consciousness and then activity. Both has to happen in the case of surrender. Suppose I change only, I want to surrender to Lord. Yes. But I don't do the activity to demonstrate that I have surrendered. Then where is the question of surrender? And sometimes if we, by knowing the Lord's position as a supreme, if we give something to Lord with some intention, that also not a good type of surrender. Of course, still it is better, but we should have that knowledge that Lord is the supreme. I am sacrificing to the Lord because Lord is the supreme. He is supposed to be enjoying all this. With this knowledge, you sacrifice anything, whatever you can dedicate to Lord, you can offer to Lord. Whatever, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam, or you have got some money, you have got some speaking ability, you have got some singing ability, you have got some service, whatever time you can spend for Lord's activities, spreading Lord's Krishna consciousness, whatever it may be. So it is all surrender slowly. The more we do this activity, more we change our consciousness, that to that extent we are surrendered. So we have to commit to Lord, saying that I am meant for you. So whatever I will do, I will meet, it should benefit. Benefit in the sense it should be dedicated to Lord. In that process, what is happening? Actually, we are changing our consciousness. So Lord wants this response. So Lord wants us to change the consciousness, and He has given enough facilities for us to do that. Lord only is providing us everything. Lord, knowledge, Lord only providing. This material nature, material world, transaction, senses, our body, Lord only has provided. So Lord has given us everything. Now it's up to us. We want to use it for Lord's service or use it for our own service. If you use it for our own service, we are not surrendering to Lord. We are surrendering to ourselves. Then we are not in the right position, because our original position is surrender to Lord. It's a servant of Lord. So that is the way. Should. But once you understand Lord is enjoyer, Lord is proprietor, He is giving me everything. I am enjoying His material resources. So I should be surrendering to Lord and give whatever I can to Lord. Give back to Him. And in that process, you yourself will also, become happy. Enjoy. Why? Because that is our natural position. But it is with the right consciousness. Suppose we eat prasad, very nice, tasty food. So for namesake, it is food. So we enjoy prasad. Same thing. If you take a non-prasad, some karmic food, and take prasad, the taste could be similar. Ingredients could be similar. But karmic food, if you take normal unoffered food, which is not prasad, you may enjoy the same thing, but you will not get benefit, and that consciousness will not change because you are doing for yourself. But if you take a prasad, when you take prasad, we know that, oh, it's the Lord's mercy, it's the Lord's mercy, it's the Lord's krupa on me. So I am taking this prasad. So it is supposed to change my consciousness, and it will change my consciousness, because there is a potency comes. And then actually change the consciousness of, if you keep eating prasad, keep serving the Lord. I'm just giving example of prasad. For that matter, we can take all example that comes under relational service. You can chant. Chant means actually you are surrendering. Oh, please, Lord, please take me at your shelter. That is the meaning of chanting. So like that, any service. So we are purifying ourselves. Once you purify ourselves by right knowledge, by right actions, and right consciousness, then we are slowly changing our consciousness. The moment we become 100% Krishna consciousness, that is what Lord want you. Then even though we are in material world, we'll be 100% Krishna consciousness. And we are in spiritual world. Even though you are physically in material world, you will be in spiritual world. And once you change your body in future, next body, if you are 100% Krishna, you are going to get body of the spiritual body in the Vaikuntha planets or Vrindavan planets, spiritual planet, which are internal. And there, the only purpose is to serve the Lord. And so basically, Kubera is, sort of helping Dhruva Maharaj here to give, by giving right knowledge, that you should understand this knowledge, you should change, you should have consciousness like this. And which Dhruva was anyway in the process of doing it. Sometimes due to anger, it happened, he got drifted away, but he was brought back and everybody was helping him. See, so that is how. So that is the way Dhruva Maharaj. And then Kubera tells that the Prabhupada also write that this is a way for liberation. Means if you have to get liberated, we have to get liberated from the consciousness, wrong consciousness, impure consciousness. Actually, what we have to liberate ourselves from? We don't have to liberate ourselves from body per se, because body will get burnt, but other body will come. So, and there is no way, just by thinking I want to get rid of this body, that's not liberation. Liberation means you have to liberate yourself from the adulterated consciousness, that is material consciousness. For that you have to fortify yourself, change your consciousness, purify your consciousness. Prabhupada used this word purification of the soul, purification of the consciousness. Means become Krishna consciousness. So Krishna consciousness is the pure consciousness. Why? Because that is the right thing to do. Right positioning of the soul is Krishna consciousness. Because that's the reality. Lord is benefactor of everything. Lord is enjoyer of everything. Lord is the proprietor of everything. Lord is the control of everything. The moment you understand this and realize this slowly, that is change of your consciousness. Rest is all will taken care. Material world will be there. You may be continuing material world even though after you realize 100%. But that's okay. Because say for example, take a Prabhupada's example. He was Acharya and he was 100% liberated, 100% Krishna conscious. But he was in material world for some years. But that doesn't mean he was part of this, he was contaminated by material world. No, he was transcendent into all this. He came here to salvage us. Same way, many saints, many devotees, Prabhupada disciples, Prabhupada gurus, and other paramparas also who are genuine paramparas also. They are there. So there are the souls around us. They are actually meant for salvaging us from this material world. Without their knowledge, without they helping us, without knowledge given by the Lord, all this whole system is given. We cannot come out of it just by thinking I want to come out of material world. Because whenever we are unhappy, something sad happens, we think of Lord, oh please save me, I want to come out of this. But whenever we are happy, we don't we forget the Lord. But that is not, that's because why, of course still it is better than doing nothing, but that's not perfect way. The real perfect way is happy or happiness or sad or whatever happens to you, just become indifferent to all this because these are all material transactions, all laws of karma. And you should be conviction that ultimately Lord will save us. So Allah, if I surrender to Lord, and everything will be taken care. That is the surrender. So when you are confident that Lord will take care of you in any case, and when you are actually following that path given by Lord by purifying yourself, you are at a surrendering stage. And that's what. So Dhruva Maharaj goes back to Godhead by listening all these, philosophies and advice from all these elderly. So that's the chapter. But this is the conversation, and this is the discussion point. And Prabhupada explains very nicely, finding this purport. And one important point Prabhupada makes here is devotee sees everything as oneness to the Lord. He himself see himself as well as material world to the oneness of Lord. In the sense, devotee thinks that I am, as a soul, I am also energy of Lord. Material world also is energy of Lord. So it's one in that way. And I should be in sync with Lord's purpose. Lord want me like this, so I will behave like this. I will have my conscience like that. So there is a symphony, or there is a harmony of what Lord wants us and what we want to do. That is oneness. That doesn't mean we become Lord. Prabhupada explained this everywhere, because slowly people twist the philosophy. Once you change your philosophy, you become God. We will not become God. Never. We are spirit soul, we are soul, is super soul. Even though you change the 100% to Krishna, you will not going to become Lord. That is a very bad consciousness. We are not gods. We are lords, servants. So this is the right consciousness. But Prabhupada mentions here that we should be careful. People may think, because Mayavadis preach this theory like this. Oh, once you liberate, you become part of God and you become God. No, we will not become. Lord is God and he is aloof from all this. Prabhupada mentioned also that Lord has created this energy. He is in every item. He is in you. Everywhere is there. Every atom is there. But he is aloof from all this. He doesn't get affected by all this. So he is there inside the all atoms and you and material world, but he's still not there. But you are there anyway. So you are there in the part of this material world, but Lord is part of this material world in this sense, but he is not part of this material world. So he remains aloof, but you get affected because we may become fallen. So Prabhupada says that this oneness is what we should understand. Oneness with Lord. We will become one with Lord in terms of purpose, serving him. But Mayavadi pursues this saying that once I get liberated, I'll become God or I'll be part of God. That is not correct. They get Brahma Jyoti, but they will never become like Bhagwan because that's ultimately me. But that's a different philosophy altogether. Both are right only, but interpretation has to be correct. You may get merged into Brahmajyoti, but you will be never becoming a Lord. We are never Lord. We are part and parcel of Lord, and we are part and parcel of Atma Paramatma. But this is what we should understand. What is mean by liberation and how to do it by changing our consciousness. So that is a discussion for today, devotees. Thanks for joining the session, and any comments or questions we can take now, and then we can close the session. Hare Krishna. Thanks, Prabhuji, for your time also. Prabhuji, Mataji, Jai Shankar Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thanks.
So we discussed about Kubera, explaining to Dhruva Maharaj in terms of going for the devotional service. So when I'm hearing, actually, I'm getting the parallel, like, Janmejaya also does the Sarpayag to annihilate all the serpents. And then I'm not remember who has intervened him. They tell him that it's not correct to do the Sarpayag. So he stops that. So
Yeah.
similarly, Dhruva Maharaj also, he will not go beyond, for this. I mean, that's what I understood, bro.
Yeah. Yes, there are many instances. Yes, you are recalling correctly, but I am also not recalling who prevented him. But yes,
Yeah,
there is a
there
story,
was
and there are
one.
many stories like this, Prabhuji.
Yes, bro.
Many
Yeah.
things are like this. Yes.
And you also rightly mentioned about that, like Ravana, so many advised, even Marisha also advised, saying that, there will be very less people to give a guidance. And there are very much less people to listen also. So that's where the same thing. Like, but Dhruva Maharaj is not like that, because in heart he's a devotee, so he
Yes.
obeys senior's advice.
Yes. That's true. Very yes, Prabhuji. Nicely. You have put a nice corollary. Yes. True.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Very good. Thanks, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Prabhuji, Hare
Thank you
Krishna.
for the wonderful class.
Thanks.
And it's
Prabhuji,
inspiring us to read Bhagavatam. Thank you.
Yes, we should.
Yes,
Daily
sir.
we should read Bhagavatam for some 10, 15 minutes, half an hour, whatever we can. And
Yes,
it's so nice. Once you get engrossed into Bhagavatam, Prabhupada says that, and devotees also says that. If you make a point of reading the Bhagavatam daily, our devotional life will be flying very high. And most importantly, all the anxieties and all those day-to-day, our, problematic things, we will come out of all this. That is the only way. So
correct.
it's very nice because that's transcendental. Yes, Prabhu.
Yes. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay, Prabhuji. So if there is no questions, comments further, we'll close the session here. Thanks once again for joining this session and taking your time in the morning, working day morning. So please do come frequently on this platform daily. There is a Bhagavatam class 8 to 9. Please keep joining, keep reading Bhagavatam, keep chanting, and keep doing your devotional service perfectly. Hare Krishna. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
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 Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Closing the session.